Hey guys, welcome back to Precision Rifle Network. Today, the Vortex 4000, the laser rangefinder, weapon-mounted laser rangefinder. I have been looking forward to getting out to the range and doing this review for quite some time. Just had a lot of other projects pop up in front of this. Also, a quick shout out to Area 419, who sent me over the scope mount and the diving board mount to use with this properly. And there's some pretty unique features about this mount and this diving board system, the way it connects to the mount. Rock solid, no possible way for this laser rangefinder to shift under recoil or even if it loosens up slightly. It's amazing the way this interfaces with that. So just a quick shout out to Area 419. Like, these guys are smart over there and they think about the products that they make and they put a lot of design effort into it. So when you go and you balk at the price of some of their things, understand you're getting the highest quality merchandise out there whatsoever. So this is great. This is sweet, and shout out to those guys. Thank you, Greg, for sending this over and letting me review it. So the Vortex 4000 made waves this last fall when it came out, because previous versions, like military law enforcement versions of weapon-mounted laser rangefinders, have cost somewhere in the neighborhoods of $10,000 to $15,000. They're smaller in profile and they do have some other features, night vision specific, like IR lasers and things like that. But Vortex has a product here that they have been developing for years and finally dropped it. And it's a pretty amazing unit for a couple $1,000. I mean, significant price reduction for much of the same feature set that you're getting in those $10,000 to $15,000 units. So I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. This is what we're doing today. Let's get into it. I'm not going to show you the entire setup process for the Vortex 4000. It's lengthy. It's not hard. It's just lengthy. And I don't want to kill 10 minutes of video time just kind of showing you every single piece of that. Suffice to say, you take it out of the box, you got to sync it with your phone if you want to use the app compatibility. There's a Bluetooth button that you can attach somewhere else on your rifle that you can pair with the unit, pair it with your phone. There's a zeroing process for this. Now, the zeroing process that I am going to show you, a calibration process. We have to twist and turn this thing and make sure that the internal compasses and all that are dialed in. That part I'm not going to show you. You'll have to go through that yourself if you purchase one of these. And there are lots of other videos now that I'm a little late to the game on this, lots of other videos out there showing you how to do that process. What I want to show you today is getting this thing co-aligned with the center line of the scope after we zero the rifle, of course. The rifle has to be properly zeroed. And then you measure the offset, between the center bore line of your scope and the laser needs to be co-aligned with your aiming point of your scope or your point of hold, whatever you want to call it. It just needs to be perfectly parallel so that wherever the center of that scope is holding, whether it's at 100 yards or whether it's 1,000 yards, you're going to get a proper, accurate measurement from the laser rangefinder. So that's first. We just need to measure our offset here. Now that we've got the scope zeroed to the rifle zeroed to the scope, I'm going to measure the offset between the laser and the scope, and then when we go down range to put up our reflective targets, which I'll show you, we'll know the offset and we'll be able to place the dot where it needs to be down there for the laser to co-align. So looking like 3 1/4. So I'll remember that. I'll measure it and add that dot downrange. We'll be co-aligned. The laser that is in here is not very bright. They provide a target for you to use, and they provide these reflective strips of tape that you can put around the outside edges of your target, so that when you're kind of panning across your target, you're trying to find where that laser's at, because you won't be able to see it with your naked eye. You can like hit that right reflective piece of tape, and you're like, oh, there it is, you know, now I need to bring it back. And then you place a little small, you know, sub MOA dot on your target at the exact offset from your scope to your laser. Figuring out where I was hitting was up here, and then we shot this group right here. I'll put up a measurement for you on the screen, and I put another group up here, slightly larger, but you can see rifle shoots very well. And we're now zeroed in the center, and so now we need to put these reflective stickers onto the target so that our laser will be able to hit off of those. We'll be able to find it, and that offset 3 1/4 inches, we use these little circle type, whatever these are, 5-6 sided deals, whatever those are called, we're going to put at the exact offset that we need from where our scope is, and then we're going to co-align our laser. So again, our aiming point is going to be here. This is where I'm going to hold my crosshairs, and I measured 3 1/4 inches, and I put another dot, and that's where the other little laser piece is going. Like that. So I'm going to hold here. The laser, once it's co-aligned correctly, is going to hit here, and we'll know that everything is lined up properly. The rifle, this is a Seekins DMR, all factory rifle. It is chambered in 6 ARC, 6 ARC, and I'm just running the factory Hornady match grade ammo on that. Also, again, using the Garmin chronograph here, we'll be getting our data so that we can input into the Kestrel, true up our data, and all that good stuff. So here we go, first shots. We're running at about 2,630 feet per second off of this ammo. Match grade, Hornady, 6 ARC. This is an 18-inch barrel here from Seekins. Again, all factory. I believe the Hornady ammo is a 108 grain. Obviously, I'd love to see that closer to 2,800 feet per second, and I believe I could if I hand loaded for it. But for right now, it's working. We're just going to get it zeroed up and we'll run with it. So this is the basic app, right? And I've got the 6 ARC, and the profile has been sent to the laser rangefinder, and the data lines up with what I had in the Kestrel. I transferred all the data there into here, set up a profile, and I'm a 1/10 off. It's actually less than a 1/10. It's a rounding error. So I'm not worried about that. It lines up good enough. So I expect an impact out here. We'll see. Again, I can't show you through the scope footage, but I'll let you know if I get a hit. So I wish there was a better solution. There's just not a better solution than the Triggercam currently, but the Triggercam doesn't work with zero comps. So ranging the 400-yard target. It's ranging it at 397, so 2.05, so 2.1. We're going to use 2.1. 2.1. Good impact. Let's do it again. Good impact. I wonder if that heavy mirage coming out of the heated building is throwing something off a little bit, because it was telling me 520 to 540 yards to a target that I know for certain is 500 yards away. So I pointed down at the ground at the base of the target and moved in a little bit closer until I got the dope for 500. It's 3.1. So we're going to go ahead and go 3.1. Take our shot here. Good impact. All right, guys, so I I contemplated whether or not to say this on camera because I feel like an idiot now that I've got this figured out. Previous clip had me going from the target that I had originally lased, which was at 400 yards, out to a 500 yard target. And all of a sudden when I was hitting the laze button from the 400 to 500, it was reading 550 yards. It was 50 yards off. It's like, what the heck is going on? All of a sudden the laser's not hitting correctly? And what I realized after messing around with it, I'm only saying this for your benefit because I just learned a lesson that I'm sure you're going to have to learn as well, is that, and it makes perfect sense, I had to dial back to 0, right? If I'm dialed up 3 mils or whatever it is to that 400 yard target, and I'm putting my crosshairs on that target and hitting the laze button, I'm not actually co-aligned with the laser anymore. The laser is co-aligned with the scope so long as the scope is zeroed out. So I had to turn it all the way back down to 0, pick my target, laze it, then dial up, and just remember each time now, turn it back down to 0 for a new range. We're gonna go 4.3 is what it's calling for on the dope. So we're gonna go 4.3. It's calling for half a mil to the right. We're gonna hold that. Here we go. Ding, good impact. Try again. That was actually a miss. My fault, I forgot to hold the wind. Impact, and again. Whoop, I missed off the other side, that was my fault. Good impact. Good impact. She works. Hey, gosh, that's handy, right? To be able to find a target in the field, laze it, get a solution right there, and immediately put it into your scope and fire a shot. That's super, super helpful. Fast, handy. Sniper field competitions, team competitions, or hunter field matches, or anything like that. This thing is going to be a game changer for that. So, again, a little bit of a slow pace, like kind of more detailed video, just kind of watching me do the things today, guys. Hopefully you learned something from it, got something out of it, got to see a cool new product. Again, shout out to Area 419 for sending over the scope base and the diving board mount up here. The thing is stellar. Take a look at them, guys. They're rock solid, and you don't want a mount that's going to be shifting at all when it comes to that laser being perfectly co-aligned, right? So this is one of the few on the market that actually co-align perfectly. They're machined just the way that there's like posts in here that lock down tight. There's absolutely no possible way, the way that it's designed, for that thing to shift around at all. So that's super helpful. Again, title sponsor is Arcan Optics. Check them out. PRN10 is the coupon code for 10% off at Coltac and MK Machining. PRN15 for Axel Hearing Pro. And stay tuned for more great videos from Precision Rifle Network.